everybody, welcome to the Black Sheep Props channel. I'm Steve and I'm here to teach you the tips, tools, techniques, and materials for building your very own super cool EVA foam props. Now in our last episode, making an EVA foam element blaster part 1, you saw us build the bottom and the top section and the handle. And you saw how we layered up in the exact same way for the bottom and the top and then cut it out to reveal our top and bottom pieces. And you saw us tear up the handle as well, and then we attached the three. Now it seems like that's most of the build, and it kind of is size-wise, but this whole episode is going to involve doing these two barrel assemblies in here and just a couple other little details. So in this episode, making an EVA foam element blaster part 2, we're going to knock out these barrels in here. A lot of work, but easy. And a couple little extra details too. So if you're ready to hit it, let's make something. All right, we've got our 6mm piece of foam for the trigger, and we took this little pattern that was part of our template, and we cut these carefully out of a 3mm piece of foam. These are going to come in and lay right in here like this on the handle, just like that. But what we're going to do first is we're going to soften the edge up a little bit with our Dremel. All right, there we go. Kind of tough to hold on to that little thing, but just be careful and you can do it. All right, we're going to seal it real quick. I know you can't really see this very well, but nice. And we're going to lay this right down on our line. Now all we have to do is go right down our Sharpie line, just like that. All right, we're going to get our squeeze out off of there. Now we're going to do the same thing over on this side. All right, there we go. Simple little piece right there on both sides. Really easy stuff. All right, now let's come in and let's get our trigger done. All right, there's a 6mm piece of foam with our trigger on it. Now we're perfect, just like that. All right, there we go. See our line right down in there? That's exactly where we're gonna have to put our trigger. This is gonna be a little bit tricky, but we should be all right. All right, let's get some on here. There we go. We got it on our X-Acto. Now we can get in there. We can get it right on the line. All right, that's it. I think we're good. Cool. All right. All right, now we're going to come in with these 10mm circles, all right? And we're going to be cutting these out, and then we're going to be beveling the edge of them. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut these out on the scroll saw, and then we're going to come in with the Dremel and we're going to bevel the edge. All right, there we go. Little circles. We got a little bit of an imperfection on here because it's kind of tough to cut them that small. All right, there we go. We beveled it around the edge. Now let's seal it. Get some super glue down. Just like that. There we go. Let's get it right in the center like that. And then we will push it down while it bonds. All right, there we go, back there, real easy. Look at that thing, man. Gadzooks, that's cool. Wow. All right, these are the pieces that are gonna make up the bottom section down in here. So we've got a lot of different thicknesses here, 36mm, 3, 16, and we're combining these two to get exactly the thickness that we want. And we're also going to be using an 18mm foam dowel, and then we're going to be wrapping some 2mm and some 4mm around that. All right, so let's go ahead and we will cut the stuff we can cut with a knife. There we go. There's our 3mm. Let's go ahead and not lose our letters, because our letters tell us what order it's in. Alright, there we go. Now we're not going to cut the length off yet because we want to make sure that we measure and get a perfect length. Let's go ahead and do that right now. Alright, here and here on an angle. Alright, those look about right. What we're going to do is we're going to heat up our wood burner. Alright, we're going to bring our wood burner in because we're going to be making some lines in this thing right here. Alright, so we're going to plug this in, and while this is heating up, we're going to take our 18mm dowel and we're going to knock it off where these two lines are on the bandsaw. Just like that. So we have a nice 90-degree cut. Alright, there we go. There's our dowel cut. We've got. Alright, let's see here. That's about the right size. Alright, we're going to spin. That's it, just like that. Alright, there we go. Now we're going to do what you've seen us do before. We're just going to connect our circles. Alright, we're going to clean up where the lines don't match up perfectly. Alright, we've got these wraps ready. We've got our dowel ready. We've got this piece ready. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to take this 2mm strip, and we have little dots drawn on there. We use those as our guide. Alright, we're going to come in and we're going to wood burn right through those lines. There we go. Perfect. Now we're going to cut that out. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to take these two pieces, because they're kind of thick, over to the scroll saw, and we're going to cut these out. Alright, look at that. Nice. Alright. Alright, there we go. We've got all of our pieces cemented. Alright, let's get our seam together right there. And we can put that part on the bottom anyway. Alright, now we're not going to worry about connecting it because we're actually going to be cutting the bottom off. Alright, so let's just make sure that we've got everything stuck down nicely. Alright, look at that. Alright, we're going to attach a couple of these together. Alright, we're going to come in here with our super glue, get some down. There we go. Okay, now we have to do some figuring here, okay? Because we're going to have this piece up here at the front, this piece at the back, and this piece is going to go right in the middle like this, okay? So what we got to do is we're going to have to cut this center piece right here. We're going to have to cut an angle up and over to match this angle right here. Okay. We matched this angle and we drew it on here. Okay, so we're going to go over to the bandsaw. We're going to cut right through here and then out this side, and it should fit right in there perfectly. Alright, there we go. We've got the cut this way and then down on an angle so it matches up perfectly there. Now all we have to do is cut off across that edge right there and it should fit right in place. Alright, there we go. So we cut across here on an angle and then across there, And when we bring it in, bam! That is crazy perfect fit right there. And then these will come in behind it, and this will come in front of it, and we will be golden. Look at that. All right, let's make some marks and let's cement it down. We're going to center this and flush it at the bottom so that the bottom is flat right there. There we go, nice and flush. Look at that. All right, and put super glue on this piece this time. All right, now we're going to come in. We are going to center this, which is right there, and we're going to flush the bottom. All right, there's our piece. All right, now this is going to be a tiny bit tricky, okay, because we need to come in and stick it right down here first to the front of this and the bottom at the same time, but we don't want the rest of it to touch down. So we're going to have to come in here very carefully. All right, let's keep that raised up. We're going to have to bend our gun a little bit. Let's get it right there. Okay, we did it. Okay, we made good contact to the front up here and to the base. All right, now we're going to lay it down. All right, there we go, we did it. Look at that. All right, we made contact up here at the front and down here to anchor it. And then once we anchored it, then we could put it down the whole rest of the way. All right? Oh, good grief. Nice. All right, now we're going to do all the same steps we did there up here. Okay, we're going to be cutting pieces, individual pieces. We're going to be using a dowel to wrap pieces, and it's all going to go in here the same way we just did right there. Okay, there we go. There's all of our pieces prepared. Really easy stuff. Okay, this is going to be, there's our pieces numbered, 1, 2. This is all the center section, and then piece 3. All right, that's it. We've got all of our different pieces of 4mm and 2mm, wood burned and cut out, holes punched, and we're going to wrap all these around this dowel, and then we're just going to cut it apart on the bandsaw and put this together, and that will be our top barrel assembly. No problem. All right, there we go. There's our 2 barrels, our 2 pieces, identical pieces that are going to make up the top barrel. And as you can tell, we didn't connect our wrap at the bottom because we're going to be cutting that off. So there's 2 sections, all right? We haven't done our cutting yet, but we just did all of our wrapping. All right, so now we're going to come in because both of these need to be cut. All right, check that out. See that right there? In order to make this fit, we have to come in, and the top circle has to have the top cut off and the bottom cut off, and the bottom circle needs to just have the top cut off. That way these 2 can touch together, and this one can touch up to the top, and the bottom one will be circular. All right, so we're going to make our first cut. We're going to go right through this line on the bandsaw. All right, there we go. We made 1 cut. Now we're going to come in and we're going to separate these pieces right here. All right, here we go. Now, we got 1 cut left, right? We've got flat on both of these sides so that we can stick it together, just like that. All right, now we need 1 more cut, which is going to be right here. All right, there we go. Now, let's see what we're going to do here. All right, this is going to come in and go in here. This is going to come in and go in here. And these pieces are going to come in and they're going to go right up here at the top like this. All right, sweet. That's what we're dealing with. Look at how cool that looks. Now when that slides up, look what's going to happen. It's going to have to be cut here to meet this angle. All right, so what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to do the same thing we did down here. We're gonna have to do that little angled cut, so this will slide right up in there perfectly. But right there, and we're going to line up flush down this side, and then we're gonna come around here and we're gonna make sure that our angle lines up right there and right there. Oh, look at that. Man, those edges match right up. Very cool. That's a double barrel assembly if I've ever seen one. Okay, we're gonna line, this is the line where it starts right there. So if we line this up at the bottom, just like that. Okay, that's our cut right there. We're gonna go over to the bandsaw and we're gonna knock that off. All right, look at that edge right there. Let's try it. All right, the moment of truth. Oh man, bingo. Perfect edge right there. All right, it's time to start attaching all of this, all right? All right, now before we stick it, let's roll it around, take a good look. All right, looks like we're all golden on our marks right there. All right. All right, there we go. Wow, perfect, man, perfect. Make a mark, just like that. Right there. All right, here we go. Now, thankfully, we can flex this, okay? Now, you know the drill. We've got contact cement on here. If we screw this up and we don't get it down in place, we are in big trouble. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna bend this. We're gonna get it out of the way because we don't want the front end touching. All right, we're gonna come down in here very carefully. We're gonna get it down at the base, right down there, which we did, and right down here, which we did. All right, we made good contact. Down at the base back here, right down there, and up against the handle. All right, so we got good contact here and here. Okay, but we're keeping the front away because we don't want it to go down crazy wrong, all right? So we're gonna come in here, we're going to line our marks up, which we just did, and we are spot on, man, spot on. All right, let's make sure that our angled cut made contact, and it looks like it did right in there. Oh my gosh, this is insane. All right, let's tighten this whole thing up with some heat. Oh, man, is that sweet. Look at that, man. Look at that rascal right there. Good grief. Wow. All right. Okay, now we noticed we screwed up a little earlier when we made these lines. We forgot to make one more line right here on both sides. All right, so real easy stuff. We're just gonna come in. We're going to cut through right there. Now we're gonna do it on the other side as well. Now let's open up that seam. All right, there we go. That was it. Just enough to add our little crease there, opened up. Sweet. All right, now we've got one last piece, and that's gonna be our little barrel at the front here. So we've got a 16mm piece of foam. We're gonna cut this out on the scroll saw, and then we're gonna bevel the edge with the Dremel. All right, there we go, nice clean sides, and now we're gonna bevel this. All right, nice, look at that. We've got that nice beveled edge around it. Now let's come in with our 220 sanding stick and let's clean it up a little bit. Just to get the edge smooth. All right, now this is gonna come in and it's gonna go right up here on the front, but it's gonna drop down a little bit. So we're gonna have the same issue here. When it drops down a little bit, we have to account for this little angle right here. All right, so we're gonna make a mark and we're gonna cut that angle off on this little nozzle we just did. Right, so if it goes right there, then... All right, now we definitely don't want to go to the bandsaw with something so small. There's no way we're gonna stick our fingers in the blade. So we're gonna sharpen our box cutter. Saw through, nice and careful, just like that. There we go, cut the side off. Now when we bring this in, bam, it fits right in the middle where it needs to be. That is crazy awesome right there, look at that. All right. All right, well, pretty good. Now we're gonna push it down there, squish it down while the super glue makes contact. We're gonna wipe the squeeze out off of there. All right, look at that. That is cool, man. Check out how we're flush against here and we've got that nice angle right there. Perfect. That is jamming. Okay, now I'm gonna come in with my Dremel bit and we're gonna put some rivet marks on here. Okay, now we're gonna put on this smaller bit and we're gonna make a tiny little hole right in the middle. All right, those look sweet right there. That is really cool. Super nice. Man, look at that thing, wow. Very cool. All right, with that last little Dremel detail, that brings the build portion of our Element Blaster to a close. There you go, the Element Blaster. You saw how, like we talked about earlier, there was a lot of work in here, man, to do these barrels. A lot of work, but it was easy. A lot of wrapping, and then you saw slicing pieces of dowels off to attach stuff together. You saw us cutting out these little angular cuts in here and up here to get them to fit right up in there. Just gotta be careful, take your time and measure, and piece of cake. So that was it, man. That completed the whole build, man. The thing is sweet. Like we said before, double barrel fun right there. All right, so that concludes making an EVA foam Element Blaster Part 2. Hope you liked it. If you did, give us a like, share us with a friend, and subscribe to this channel. And together we're gonna go step by step through a lot more super cool builds so that you get the props you deserve. Thanks for coming. See you next time.